Gary, we've just heard that the Alliance and Leagues Committee have declared the season null and void for the second year in a row. What are your initial thoughts on this?
I think, to be honest, it was probably what we expected. I think this year, to be fair to the FA, with the current situation in the UK and the amount of games that everyone's played, I think it probably was the right decision. Unfortunately for us, there is a huge disappointment for everyone. There's a lot of work goes on at the club, but for me, it's really the players who now, 2 years in, aren't probably getting the reward for all the efforts they've put in over that period. So I think it's probably the correct decision. The hope is that the FA push forward with their plans to restructure. The league has been talked about for a couple of years now. It'd be great if they move forward that, and we might get the rewards those players deserve, and everyone at the club who's put so much effort in for these last couple of years.
Absolutely. And Russell, how will this decision affect the club's plans for the future?
Well, we've got our 5-year plan, which we're working towards. We're obviously an ambitious club. We're delighted with how the club's been progressing off the field with a lot of different projects which are up and running, which is great. We've got a fantastic group at the club, great management team. We've got a great committee. So we're still moving forward. The main aim is to make sure that our club is financially sustainable. That's how we set up the club. And we believe we've done that, and we're in a strong position at the moment, a healthy position. And yeah, we're just hoping that we maybe get some news on, possibly some good news on a restructuring process. But the null and void was something which I think we knew was going to happen. It's something which has been on the cards ever since we heard about the news of the National League South and North as well. So it hasn't come as a surprise to us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Russ. And then, Russell, again, you may have seen yesterday Boris Johnson announced the UK roadmap to sort of exit the COVID pandemic restrictions. And looking from May onwards, it looks quite positive. So I just wondered, do you expect a quote unquote normal season next year?
I don't think we expect anything, if I'm honest. I think we're in a situation where there's been so many probables and maybes and possibles that we're just we are going to plan for next season to be a normal season, but to expect it to all be normal, well, I think we've got to be prepared for bumps in the road and be prepared to be flexible and adjust to whatever situations come our way. We've obviously gone over a few hurdles in our existence since we came about in 2018, so we're used to that, and I think we'll just we'll see what happens, but we'll prepare for a normal season as we did at the start of the season we're currently in. We have to do that, and we will then prepare for we'll look at any eventualities that come our way and any hurdles that come our way and deal with them. Yeah.
Perfect. And Gary, when does planning for next season begin, and what does that look like for you and the squad?
I think it's a difficult one. I think when we stopped end of October sort of thing, November, I'll be honest, I did switch off for a 3-4 week period where literally just tried not to think about the football too much, because it was fairly heavy going for the players and everyone involved in that period. Since particularly since Christmas, there's been a lot going on. I think as a coaching team, we've had regular meetings, a lot going on in the background, which hopefully over the next month or so will start coming out, and we can start bringing those to plans. I think now there's a bit of clarity in what's happening this season. We can really start planning towards the next season. I think the unique situation for us as opposed to other teams in our league, our players can go and play at their local clubs, so they'll stay reasonably fit over this next 2-month period. So I think that's great for Jersey football, that locally there's going to be an end to the season here, and I think it'll be an exciting end to the season with all our players involved. So that's going to be exciting, and hopefully we can go and get and watch that. I think in the short term, once restrictions allow us to have this sort of meeting, possibly from after March the 8th, we'll get the players together, explain some of those plans for next year, let them go and enjoy themselves, play for their clubs, we'll watch all that, and then we'll really start as a management team while that's going on. We'll be watching those players and focusing on our plans to get ready for hopefully a normal pre-season with pre-season games and everything else that goes with it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Russell, will this sort of extended break help from a logistical viewpoint?
Well, whilst we would not have wanted this outcome for a second season, an early decision does allow us to actually plan in advance. So It's something we've been working on week by week, really, this season. So now to actually know the null and voids in place, we've got plenty of time to plan in advance. We might be on the back foot a little, I think, with until we actually know about fixtures and when they're announced. But we work really closely with all the organisations. We work closely with the JFA, with the Combined Counties League, with the English FA. And we've got great links and we've got great relationships with our sponsors as well. So we can really look to maximise the exposure and minimise any costs that might incur. Obviously, it's impossible to plan for everything. But the club will work with Gary and his management team, and we'll do everything we can, like we would for any season, to ensure they're prepared as best as possible going into the new season, and obviously give themselves the best chance of being successful. Behind the scenes, I think we've been working hard on as a club to get our processes moving forwards and up and running. Obviously, we've been around now for, or we established ourselves in 2018, so it's 3 or 4 years, and we've grown a lot in those 3 or 4 years. And part of our business plan and part of our timeline, if you like, is to keep developing, keep improving those processes. We're growing our sort of staffing numbers on and off the pitch, and that's something we want to continue to do.
Brilliant, brilliant. And finally, to both of you, obviously this means a little bit more time off now. So what will that look like for you? Will it be focusing on the golf swing or in the garden, or what do you have lined up?
For me, it's more.
Go on, Gary.
Go on, then I'll go. Yeah, no, for me, I don't think I've done so many webinars. I've done this last 6 weeks on different things in football. So this little break has given us the time to reflect on what we've done over the last year and a half with the players and us as a management team. I think there's areas we can improve on, areas we can, adapt a little bit. So this has given us the chance to reflect and look back over that. So that's things now we'll look to really put in place with a view to moving forward, coming towards that pre-season when hopefully, things are back to normal and we can really get going. But for me, as I mentioned, I'm going to go and watch a lot more football locally. I hope we can be allowed to go and watch the games and really enjoy the local scene, but with an eye on what we're going to be doing and getting everything in place for that.
Been so lucky with the support we've had around the island with the 1,000 Club, but not just that. The supporters as well who have sent messages in that they're keen to see the season and see the team playing again, and we're regularly in dialogue with them, which is great. Personally, my wife's expecting another baby in May, so I'm going to be quite busy there with my second child. But yeah, we've actually got a situation now where we've got these few months where we can actually look at things on and off the pitch. Gary will know, we're fully aware that when the season's up and running, it's game after game after game, and it's fast paced and the games come thick and fast, and as soon as one game's finished, you're planning for the next. So this actually allows us to take stock, see where we're at, and see where we're meeting our milestones. I know Guernsey FC have said the same after sort of 9-10 years in existence now, that they've actually had that chance just to take stock and see where they are and look at different projects which they can run. So I think it's obviously come a bit earlier in our journey, but it's something we'll be looking to maximize that time to make sure that the club keeps moving forward.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, both of you, for your time this evening. Most appreciated.
Thanks, Sam.